People are always asking me, what speakers should I get? And the very first question I ask them is, well, what do you plan to use them for? Now, in this video, right, I'm going to share, based on my own experience, what are the best speakers for home and studio use, for little house parties, right, for private functions like weddings and stuff, and all the way out to bigger parties. So let's start first of all with speakers for your home. So if you're on a budget and you can't take the volume very loud anyway because of neighbors, then I'd probably go towards, lean towards the Pioneer DM40s. Now, yes, in truth, right, they look like glorified computer speakers, but for their size, they actually have plenty of punch, and I guarantee you're going to be 100% happy with these. And I feel they are honestly probably your best speakers that you can get for under $200. Like, I've got them, right, they're actually really sweet. Like, I put them out with my highs. People are like, wow, that goes really loud compared to what I thought. But here's the thing, if you do want a little bit more punch, again, I do like Pioneer monitors, and I have a pair of the SDJ50Xs, from my back room, and I'll be honest, my neighbor is always complaining. Now, that basically means, say if your neighbors are complaining, it means one thing, right? Those speakers have bass, man. The bass frequencies is what travels. So here's the thing, for under $400, right, you get a pair. They're actually what I would use at home, but I'm not sure that they would hold up for a mini house party. So personally, right, let's say you wanted to have 50 people in a house party. Well, you could go up with the Pioneer range. So say, for instance, the SDJ60s, right, they're slightly bigger for about under 600. And then you got to the 80Xs for also about $800 for the pair. And they start getting bigger, and they're actually, I'll be honest, those 80Xs for under for under $800, right? They've got some pump shape, they really do. But now I realize there are other brands besides Pioneer, and when doing my research on this, the other big one that people seem to love, especially for the home and studio use, are the KRKs. Okay, so like Pioneer, these ranges in size, and the bigger the speaker, the more it costs. So personally, if it was me getting speakers for home use, I probably would be leaning towards Pioneer or the KRKs, as these seem to be respectable brands that a lot of people love. And I'll be honest, using the Pioneer speakers here, they're really good. However, if you need speakers for private functions and weddings or any event over 200 people, I'm not sure the Pioneer and the studio speakers would hold up for that. So personally, for that kind of stuff, I'd go for the RCF Art series. Now, personally, I love using the RCF 315As. Now, these are powered speakers, and they have plenty of power, and the sound is honestly amazing. Now, they are about $800 per speaker, so $1,600 for a pair. But you need to get some stands with them, right? Now, personally, I have a pair of these, and these are way too loud and powerful for my studios in Sydney. But for mini events and functions, I've always used these, and these have plenty of headroom. They are amazing. Now, I've used my RCFs for weddings, functions, cafes, bars, even outdoor parties. And when running club events where perhaps, let's say, the sound system's a little bit questionable, I just used to take in a pair of RCFs, right? And it would help fill up the sound in the room incredibly. Now, I realize there are other powered speakers that people may gravitate towards, like JBL, for instance, right? Among others. But personally, I've always found RCF to be my preferred brand. But if you agree, or let's say you've used RCS, or perhaps you feel otherwise, please feel free to comment below. Keep it positive though, right? But just trying to help. But as I'm sure, people may want a second opinion, but I don't think you'll go wrong with the RCFs. I really don't. Especially for mid-range party, and say you're doing functions, they're gold. Now, before I move on, one quick thing to note though. If you are serious about sound and neighbors are not an issue, right? The thing that will take your whole sound system to the next level is a subwoofer. Now, I'll be honest, 2 RCFs and a high-powered sub would honestly be amazing. And if you really want to go all out, get 4 RCFs and a sub. But again, RCFs do very powerful subs too. But here's the thing, 4 RCFs and a sub is overkill for a wedding, but for a club event, this system could hold its own for a crowd of up to 500 people. Now, if you are playing to crowds of 500 plus though, then you may need to increase the size of the RCFs and the sub, which just means sizing everything up, right? But then, to be honest, once you're starting to get into that kind of frame of mind, that's where pro sound systems come in, which in truth, If you're running that at that level, right, like clubs, festivals, then you're probably going to have a sound guy who will come in and suss out your venue and give you some more higher end or more powerful options and put together maybe even a higher package. To be honest, that's how it usually works. They lease the gear off these big guys, and the big guys come through and they just kind of like service it, and that's how it works on those bigger ranges. You know what I mean? It's a whole different kettle of fish. Now, loads of people ask me about the speaker I have here, right? This one, can you see it right? Now, okay, this is a Behringer, okay? Now, here's the thing, right? Yes, these are an okay mid-range speaker. That'd be okay for house parties, and if someone was willing to sell you a pair for under $400, then 100%, right? These actually do suffice, but if I was buying brand new, these brand new are almost as expensive as the RCFs, and I honestly feel RCFs are like, it's just for a little bit more, you get a lot more. So if you are buying speakers or DJ gear for that matter, I would keep the quote in mind: buy cheap, buy twice. So for an extra $300, you'd be surprised by the difference, and then you won't regret it later on. And I would also gravitate around well-known brands that have a reputation for quality. See, if you get a deal that you feel is too good to be true, most of the time it will be, and you'll end up having to upgrade down the track. Anyway, I would love to hear what you use personally and your own experience. So let me know in the comments below, but what you think. But thanks.